Gary Vaynerchuk is one of the world's leaders in the social media marketing space and has gained a reputation of predicting which marketing strategies will work and which ones will fail. He's talked a handful of times about marketing in the mortgage industry, and in this video, we look at his top 3 podcasts in which he talks specifically about marketing as a mortgage loan officer. We've taken the golden nuggets from these podcasts and put them into a short, quick list of his top marketing strategies that mortgage loan officers can use to become the top loan officer in their market. And we're starting right now.
The amount of 40 to 50 year olds that dominate in mortgage and real estate on 100% model of word of mouth reputation of the work they put in for the last 20 years is very high. And when I hear the word personal brand, and when a lot of people hear the word personal brand, they think it's a douchey term. Like they think there's a stigma to that term. Yet when I hear it, I just hear the word reputation. So just to set the tone right away, the reason to make content on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on these platforms is to build scaled reputation. How can your picture on a bench bus ad be worth the same when every single passenger on earth now is looking at their phone when they're driving? And now while you're listening and you're yelling or thinking in your mind, yeah, Gary, but my direct mail works. I'm like, cool, Sally. But if you spent that same $11,000 on Facebook properly, I'll get you more leads. You know why? Because I still do direct mail for my dad's liquor store in New Jersey. And I run them against swipe up ads on Instagram. I know the math. I think the internet eats up everything. And if you do not know how, and I do not think it eliminates everybody who has a job. I think it eliminates people who do not bring value. You probably want to go into 5 to 15 meaningful Facebook groups that talk about this. You definitely want to join your local community. Do you know how many people built their entire business on being part of the local chamber of commerce, but refused to get a Facebook account and join a Facebook group about the town? You know how fucking stupid that is? You're religious about the idea of like doing all these literally 90% of the people that are listening right now are focused on doing community tactics. I'm going to sponsor the softball team. I'm going to walk the fucking parade. I'm going to join the PTA. I'm going to fucking join the Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to start the Small Business Alliance. I'm going to walk for fucking 9 hours down Main Street to all 13 stores 8 times. All for the ability to hand their business card to somebody with the hope that they use them, versus what I would do, which is I'm going to watch TV, lay in my fucking underwear, open my phone, be in the community fucking page on Facebook, join the community and talk about the high school football team or Karen or the fucking pothole on Main Street and get 4 times more fucking business than your fucking idiotic waste of 8,000 fucking hours in the local community, fuckface. I spend 90% of my energy on marketing, and everybody thinks they're marketing and they're spending 100% of their time on sales. People think in CAC, customer acquisition cost. They don't think in LTV. Do you know people that are listening right now did a large transaction with somebody and after that transaction have never interacted with that person ever again? Mm-hmm. I believe that, and that's why that just resonated with all of you, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't you send somebody a $23 fucking fruit basket with a nice card that maybe references some moment during your interaction when you saw the pretty bird or you spilled coffee on yourself, to show them you actually are a human, which then will actually lead to like maybe them referring you to somebody else. You're spending all your time hunting for the other thing, yet now that you got their commission and you signed them up or you sold them the house, you never talk to them again. That is 98% of the behavior of 98% of the agents. And trust is an interesting word because I think it leads to behavior that's a little one-dimensional. I think it's relevance.
Relevance.
Right? So like trust can hurt people because I believe when you say that, people on the other side then start with overselling themselves to provide trust.
Got it.
You see where I'm going?
Absolutely.
I'm thinking about Karen right now who hears this. She's motivated. She's like, fuck it, I'm making my first LinkedIn video. And she hears trust, which makes sense. I don't think,
reputation.
I'm starting to learn that words matter more than I've thought. You know, people are pretty semantical. When I hear trust as Karen, who just got motivated finally because I'm putting pressure on the system and she's gonna make her LinkedIn video, she hears trust and she's gonna start with a heavy sell up front. I've been doing this for 23 years, right? Whereas meanwhile, the way that Karen would have gotten my business is by making a reference to the Jets game against the Eagles this weekend, because that's relevance. Or,
Absolutely.
or being an immigrant.
Absolutely.
Or liking root beer. This is why I push people to show every part of their lives. You never know if it's heavy metal, right? Or it's growing up with, immigrant parents, right? Or sports culture, right? Like, you don't know what the relevance is, but there's always relevance.
For sure.
And the number one advantage everybody has on the other side of this is the most unique thing about you is you. It is peeing your pants in second grade, a story I've shared. It is, the way I became a Jets fan because I needed something to latch on to America, something I shared. My report card, something. You know how many people follow me because they sucked in high school too?
It's relatable.
It's relevance.
Relevance.
And it's true.
Yep.
I like hip hop music. I like football. Notice how little I talk about fucking video games. I fucking am very aware that video game culture is a great content pillar for me to play on. But I have to share, when I do, I have to share that I can beat everybody in ice hockey for Nintendo because that's the last time I was a gangster in video games. 1987.
Super tech mobile.
I don't talk about Fortnite. I talk about the culture of Fortnite. So you stay in your lane, you stay around your passions, and you build a community around interests.
Love it.
And then when you're localized around that interest, you put out a LinkedIn piece of content around Zelda. You sell mortgages in fucking Des Moines, Iowa, and you find yourself 8 weeks later in a coffee shop with 11 people, all dressed up as fucking Link and Peach, and 4 days later, you closed your biggest deal. That's way better than a direct mail piece or a cold call or a fucking bench ad. Here's why it's better. Because you had fun when you fucking dressed up as a mushroom. Stop being audacious. Your industry is audacious. Bunch of people wearing suits thinking they know something.
Love
That's
that.
my advice. Cut the audacity. Everybody smart knows you're fucking lost. Get your shit together. It's time.
That's
If
awesome.
you do not produce content for YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook every day as a real estate and Instagram, as a real estate or mortgage professional, you're losing. Figure it out. It's a big statement. I know that sounds scary. You haven't posted anything. And now I'm asking you 4 fucking platforms a day. Go Google. Go learn. How do I post on YouTube? I'm giving you the statement there. I don't need to give you tactics, my friends. It's called Google.
Google.
You don't know how to make a video? Google. I don't even know what Final Cut Pro is. I could figure everything they all do. I can do in a day. It's called Google. Actually, for me, it's YouTube. I can't read for shit. I'd have to watch it. But I know. He's making content for business, but it also leads to recruitment because that's what content does.
So like, what are the strategies that people can use in our position to grow their teams? Because I think that's the...
She and he should put out content. People will see it. They'll want to join your team more than somebody else's. I observe a lot of stuff, like clearly you do as well. Like, you're in it for you. And that's great. But like, I hope you understand how the audience feels about it. Of course you're not converting on social. You're coming across as an infomercial. You're telling people what you want them to hear based on what you want to happen. Unless you're providing value to the audience will sniff you out. If you're remarkably gifted in communication, maybe you can trick people for a little while. If you're the 98%, you're not tricking anyone from the beginning. And if you're at 2% that can trick for a while, you end up usually going to jail or something terrible happens. So I think it's a good idea to try to bring value, because what is also, and I'm starting to reminisce about that podcast and today, there's just so much in this industry that is predicated around why all the clear consumer behaviors that are going against the individuals. I just don't understand the audacity and the naivete. It's audacity and naivete.
Yeah.
It's this dangerous concoction. And it's actually not just, this is the entire macro business world. The blend between audacity and naivete is the story of Toys R Us, is the story of Blockbuster Video. Blockbuster Video could have bought Netflix for 50 million. I don't remember the number.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know what to say. Like, bad idea. Like, Yahoo could have bought Google and Facebook. Both deals were at the finish line. Bad idea. naivete, audacity, short-term thinking. I'm sure the Yahoo board and the Yahoo CEOs at the time said, if I make this $1 billion transaction, will my stock price go down for a couple months, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with Sal right now. Sal, listening right now. Sal and Susan, right now listening, sitting in their car, in their office, however they're listening right now, they're saying, I've been in Little Rock for 19 years. I don't feel the Zillow thing that Neil's talking about. I don't know who this Gary guy is, but he's not from the mortgage world. And this has been the story of my life.
Yep.
This has been the story of my life. Like, I believe that innovation is consumer centric. It's good for the customer. I believe the customer is more important than my personal wants and needs. I'm all in on text.
Okay. Because
I'm very bullish on text. It's why I have first in line.
Yeah.
And I believe in it the most. Notice how I said, what about text?
Yeah.
Text.
So do you think
if you added what's your Instagram handle in your lead gen form and said in little parentheses, we will follow you on there and DM you if we're unable to get to you by phone, you'll get everybody.
Yeah, and then
what you should really do on your lead gen form is, how would you like us to communicate with you? Email, phone, Instagram DM, come to your house, smoke signals, write you a letter. You get a lead gen, and then you've decided through tried and true practices from the 1970s, this is the industry now, to communicate with them, but they don't want to communicate. If somebody called me, I'd be upset.
Yeah.
I'm upset when people call me.
Yeah, because you don't want the bandwidth for it.
Because there's technology. It's called text me and I'll get back to you when I can, not you call me on my time.
Yeah.
We value time.
Yeah.
You should make the lead gens predicated on not just that, you should absolutely ask them up front aggressively. How would they like to be talked to? Like if you say, we acknowledge many people now communicate in different forums, how would you like to be communicated to? 1, 2, pull down, email and Instagram, call and handshake, letter and telegram.
Makes sense. Yep.
It will work.
And with millennials, that's
And there's old school millennials who want a phone call.
Right.
And there's 73-year-old grandma who's hip as fuck.